Okay, welcome back. Here's our first homework of the third 9 weeks. So we're starting something new. So on each day that we will have bell work, we've left a space for that. So you'll need to bring your homework paper each day in order to get credit for that bell work. So that will be at the beginning of class. So make sure you bring your homework paper so that you are able to get full credit on your homework. And then moving into this week's homework that is due Friday the 17th, we have a volume question. And with your volume question, you'll want to first identify what shape it is. So this is a cylinder. And then from there, you'll want to find the formula that you'll want to use. And this one happens to be, the volume is capital B times H. And just to remind you, capital B equals area of the base. And that height is the height of cylinder. So from there, we'll need to determine what shape our base is, and in this case, our base is a circle with a radius of 8. This equals our radius. So where are we going to use that? We're going to then substitute V equals pi r squared. So that right there is the base right here. This is your base formula, and then we still need to include our height. So that's what our formula is going to look like. And as we substitute, so here's our formula, and when we substitute, it's going to look like pi times 8 squared times our height, which is 11. So from there, you'll be able to solve that. And this is going to be in meters cubed. V equals. So that's where your answer will go. We're going to go ahead and move over here. It says find the volume of a figure. And this time we have a cone. So I'm going to go ahead and do my best to draw a cone. This says a cone with a radius of 10 miles and a height of 20 miles. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my radius. 10 equals radius. And then we have our height. H equals 20 miles. So from there, we're going to so we have a cone, and then our formula is 1/3 capital BH. And so then remembering that this capital B represents the area of the base. So rather than just writing any number in there, we're going to have to substitute the formula for the area of a circle since our base is a circle. So we're going to have to substitute that pi r squared in there. So we have our 1/3. We have our base, which is going to be here, and then our height will be, we still need to include that. So here's our formula. And then when we substitute, our formula is going to look like 1/3 times pi times radius squared, and then that is going to be also times our height, which is 20. So from there, you should be able to punch that out in your calculator. And moving to finding the volume of the figure, which is a sphere with a radius of 2.4 kilometers. So I cannot draw a sphere, but I'm going to draw a circle and write that 2.4 as my radius. And then we have a sphere, which we have 4/3 pi radius cubed. So this is our formula. This one's really straightforward. We don't have to substitute any additional formulas. So we have volume equals 4/3 pi times our radius, which is 4.3. Oh, sorry, not 4.3. 2.4, and then we're going to have to make sure we cube that. So from there, you should be able to find this into kilometers cubed. So there's Monday, and then we don't have homework Tuesday due to our test. So again, the bell work will be there. But we're moving to a different section of our formula chart. This time we're finding total surface area. So right now we're going to identify that this is a cylinder. And so the formula on this one, the formula that we're going to want to first find is surface area equals 2 pi RH plus 2 pi radius squared. So on this one, we also don't have any capital letters, so we're not going to have to substitute any formulas, but we do have numbers that we can substitute. So this is going to equal our radius, and this is going to equal our height. So from there, we'll be able to say the surface area equals 2 times pi times the radius of 8 times the height of 8 plus 2 times pi times 8 squared. So here's our, sorry, this might get confusing, so formula, substitute, solve, and then S for surface area. From there, we'll be able to find an answer in yards squared. Moving to our next problem, also finding the total surface area. So with this formula, we have the formula we're looking at. So this is a rectangular prism. So remember that we have a rectangular prism has two bases, and the two bases have to be parallel and congruent. So I'm going to first write my formula, which is surface area, total surface area equals the perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. And so we are going, there's a couple of capital letters that we are going to need to determine values for. So we have a capital P, a capital B, and an H. So we have capital P, which is the perimeter of the base, B is the area of the base, and H is the height of the prism. So I'm going to select this as my base. So when I redraw my base here, I'm going to have 3, 5, 3, and 5. So in order to find the perimeter, I'm going to have to add them all up. So capital P is going to equal 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3. So that's going to be 16. The base is going to be 5 times 3, which is 15. And then the height of the prism, that is the thing that's connecting our two bases. So here would be our other congruent and parallel base. So the height is going to be 5. So our substitution is going to look something like 16 times 5 plus 2 times 15. So from there, you'll want to solve that formula there. And we have now another one asking for total surface area. So it says of a figure, the rectangular prism measuring 7 inches and 6 inches along the base and 3 inches tall. So I'm going to do my best to draw this because I think it will help me. There we go. Sorry, not very great, but we have seven and 6 and 3 inches tall. And from there, the formula that we're going to use is surface area equals the perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. So those letters again, we're going to need a perimeter of our base, an area of our base, and the height of our prism. So I'm going to select this one as my base so that when I redraw this, it's going to be 3, 7, 3, 7. So to find that perimeter, we're going to do 7 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3. So that's going to be 20. And the area of our base, 7 times 3, is going to be 21. And the height of our prism is going to be 6. So from there, we can have 20 times 6 plus 2 times 21. I'm not being consistent with my parentheses. So from there, you should be able to solve that for the surface area, which will leave you with inches, no, it's not cubed, inches squared since we're finding surface area. And our last section is looking like lateral surface area. So same section of the formula chart, but we're going to have to look a little bit to the left, and our formula here is surface area equals the perimeter of the base times the height. So the letters we're going to need are capital P and H. So in this case, we have a triangular prism. So that will leave us with a triangle always as our base. So I'm going to go ahead and redraw my base here. So we have 11 measuring here, and then the height of our prism is going to be, or the height of our triangle is going to be here with 6.5 as our height, and then we're left with 9 and 8. So when we have to find perimeter, so perimeter plus, we're going to have to add all of these up. So 11 plus 9 plus 8 will give us the perimeter of our base, and then we're going to be left with the height of our prism, which is 4. So from there, you should be able to figure this out right there, and then substitute and solve. All right, we have another triangular prism. And this time we have a special right triangle, which is a right triangle, but our formula is going to remain the same. Surface area equals the perimeter of the base times the height. So we're going to need to redraw our base, which is a right triangle, and the hypotenuse is going to be 5 and 3 and 4. So again, to find the perimeter 5 plus 3 plus 4, and then the height is going to be this space between 11 yards. So when we substitute and solve from there, our formula will look with those numbers. And our last problem, the lateral surface area. Again, lateral surface area. And on this one, we have a cylinder. For lateral surface area, our formula is going to be surface area equals 2 pi times radius times height. So in this case, they gave us the diameter equals 8 kilometers. So we're going to have to divide that by 2. So our radius is going to be half of this. So this is our radius. So radius, and then this is going to equal our height. So it doesn't matter which way it's laid. Substitute here. We're going to have 2 times pi times 4 times 6. So from there, you should be able to solve that and get an answer in kilometers squared. All right, that's it for this homework, and have a good week.